All right. My name is Steve Parmenter. I am the Dean of Students here at Valley Christian Junior High School. Hopefully you don't know me. Some of you I do, and that's fine. That's fine. It's fun to see you guys back. I know a lot of you are excited because you know what you're doing now. You're in 8th grade. You've been there. You've done that. You've got junior high dialed. Some of you might be a little nervous knowing that it all changes next year as you start over again with high school. The reason we want to meet with you tonight is there are a few things that we do differently in the junior high for the 8th grade that you haven't had to go through as 6th and 7th graders. And so we just wanted to kind of give you an overview of the entire year really quickly. Some of you I was able to connect with and give you a little card. Mr. Clark has some more on your way out that we'll give you. They're just small little cards on the back table that will have dates for all of the things that we're going to talk about to help keep that at the forefront of your mind, a little handy reference card. Most importantly, though, you need to be checking your email for the InfoNet. Every month we send out the InfoNet to the address that you have provided for us. So when you registered your son or your daughter on PowerSchool, you provided an email address. That's the contact we use to push out our information to you. So if you've changed jobs, carriers, whatever, please update that email address because that's where you're going to be finding all of this information as it's starting to come out. First one we're stepping into in 2 weeks is Breakaway. Breakaway is a phenomenal event. We've been doing this for years with our junior high 8th grade class. 3 major reasons that we do this is the first and foremost is to lay a solid biblical foundation for the year. We get into the Word, we introduce the kids, we bring in Dave Tish, who's now with Westgate. He's been preaching to the kids for the last 5 years. He is phenomenal, an author, comedian, speaker, and he really connects with them. We also want to have an opportunity for these kids to build a sense of community with each other. And most importantly for us as a staff, it's a great opportunity for us to hang out with the kids outside of school. Because at school, you're Mr. Clark, you're Mr. Parmenter. We get to kind of hang out with them, jump at the pool, do the zip line, play games, and kind of get to know each other on a more personal level, which helps us allow them to grow and mature and build that bond that they can come and talk to us about things as 8th grade unfolds before them. So with Breakaway, what we will do, and again, there's Dave Tish, who is, I'm terrible with the prezzies. I talk ahead of the slides, so we'll just watch a few slides here. Other important dates that we're going to talk about as we go on. The first one that you're going to see coming up pretty quick is the baby ads. That's going to come out in October because it takes time for the publication of the yearbook to put it all together. Again, that InfoNet, you'll get an information telling you what you need to do. You find the funniest, most awkward photo of your child you can find. You're going to send that in with the fee. And they've done it in the elementary. You guys are pretty familiar with it. You've also been able to do it probably at other schools. But then at the back of the yearbook, there'll be a dedication. You could write a message from the family or, for whoever, grandma, grandpa, anyone wants to do it can purchase the ad. We'll put that in there. So that information comes out to you in the September InfoNet. Again, in October, we'll have that date on October 18th. Oh, see, there you go. Again, I'm bad with this one. Washington, D.C. trip. This year, the information is going to be given to you on back to school night. So when you guys come to back to school night, you've been doing that as 6th and 7th grade parents. This year it's on August 31st. At the completion of back to school night, we're going to have a meeting in the gym. You and I will be hanging out, and I'll be giving you all the information, the cost, the registration, the itinerary, all of that will be available for you at that time. But just make sure that you give yourself, I think the back to school night ends. It's about a 30-minute presentation afterwards. We're just going to meet in the gym. So that will be the time that I give you everything that you need to know. We're going to, as soon as we're done with that meeting, registration opens up. So if you want to go home and register right away, you're more than welcome to. The registration for the trip will be open until the 27th of January. After that, I have to start locking into commitments on holding tickets for hotels and airplanes and things of that nature, so I can't add. That's a definitive drop-dead date on the 27th of January. And again, come to back to school night. We'll cover all that information at that time. Graduation gown. We're very presumptuous. We hope they're all going to graduate because we're going to purchase these gowns in February. But that's the only cost that is associated with graduation. They're getting the gowns. The ladies wear a white. The guys wear a blue. We don't do the caps. That's a high school tradition. The junior high, we just simply go with the gowns. So that will be, again, coming information home to you in the InfoNet. They will get the gown fee collected in the office, and then we'll pass those out. Typically, we wait as long as we can because we know if we give it to you in March or April, it gets filed away, stored away, and lost. So we'll give those to the kids probably about a week before graduation. All right, let's take a look at the year as a whole as it unfolds. One of the first things that comes up here is in November is the high school preview day. We took it for granted for many years that our kids would go to junior high, they go to high school. And it would, most of the time, that is what occurs. And we never really kind of rolled out the red carpet and showed off what our high school offers. The high school still obviously uses the conservatory and AMSI and athletics, and 8 of the 3rd applies K-12. But for a lot of our students, they didn't get to peek behind the curtain and really see what was going on within the high school environment. So the high school takes the time, and for the morning from 8:30 to noon, our junior hires are high schoolers, and they get to go to programs, they set up things in the gym, they meet with the counselors, they meet with the administration, they peer in on some of the classrooms and get to see what it's like to be a high schooler here at Valley Christian. It's a lot of fun for them. They get to be big kids for the day, and they enjoy that. So they're going to roll through that on November 3rd. You don't have to sign up for anything. It's just, it happens, whether you kind of want to or not. We're going to pull them out, and they're going to enjoy that day. A new event that we're going to be doing this year in January, you'll be contacted by our high school. That's the preview night. It's an opportunity for Principal Lodewijk and his staff and his counselors to meet with you, to introduce you, the parents, to their curriculum, to their programs, and to everything that Valley Christian High School has to offer. So you'll be getting that information sent home. That's in early January, because re-enrollment comes around in February, so that's an opportunity for you to come answer or get answers to any questions you might have prior to re-enrollment for the high school. And again, that happens in February, so there's an opportunity there to meet with an academic advisor. And the high school counselors will sit down with you and go over a 4-year plan. What are your goals? What do you want to do? What do you want to study? Where do you want to go to school? Or maybe you don't want to go to school. Maybe you want to go to a trade. What is it that you have? What is your ambition? And they'll sit down with you and your students, my students, your kids. They'll sit down with you and your kids, and they'll take a look and kind of come up with a plan as to what course of action you need to take to get you to that ultimate goal. Graduation photos. Today you guys all took your picture. You got your little ID card. We're good to go for the yearbook. But the graduation photos are going to be different. We're going to have the kids come back in January on the 18th and the 19th. That covers an A and a B day. They'll be doing it during their PE class. And we'll put the gown on them and get the official graduation photo. We used to do that this time of year, but these kids change so much so fast. They look totally different at the end of the year. They didn't like their photos. So we tried to stretch it out a little bit. And we'll do that in January on the 18th and 19th, so the students can come in with their PE class. They'll take it in the gym, and they'll be looking really nice. On the day of graduation, which is the 23rd of May, we will have ceremony pictures, candid photos going on, so the photographers will be mingling around with the kids before the ceremony, just taking candid shots. They'll take pictures during the ceremony, and then once your student receives their diploma, they'll take an official picture as well. And all of these will be available online. The photographer will post that website. You can go on there. You can click any ones that you want of before or after or during the ceremony, and you're good to go. One other thing that we do photograph-wise for the 8th grade class is a panoramic photo. That's a terrible one. We line them up out there at the baseball field. We get the risers out there. It's beautiful. We line them up, and that's like their group photo for the year. So we'll do that on the 16th of March and get that information to you. It's a photo package like anything else. You can get from many to a few or however many you want. Those will be available in March. If you do sign up for Washington, D.C., we will have a parent meeting on the 10th of April. That's about 3 weeks before we leave. And that's an opportunity for me to go over all the details with you about departure, make sure we get all the medical forms turned in, and get all our T's crossed and I's dotted before we take off for our trip. So I ask that one parent be present that night. Students are welcome to come, but I don't need to talk to them. I need to talk to you at that particular time. So that's the parent meeting. If you sign up for the DC trip, please make sure that one of you or both is able to attend on the 10th of April. It's a very important meeting. The DC trip this year will be the 27th of April through May 4th. That is a Friday to a Friday. I'll get you back for Cinco de Mayo, so I won't mess with your celebration there. We'll leave on a red-eye Friday night. We'll roll through D.C., and we're going to come back on May 4th. And again, all that information will be given to you at the D.C. parent meeting, which is immediately following back-to-school night. It is a regular week, though. If your student decides not to go for one reason or another, school still takes place. It's not an excused absence. Obviously, it's going to be a different agenda and a different schedule because different students will be gone, teachers will be gone, but there is still school for those that do not go to DC. So it's not a week vacation for those that don't attend. What are the big things about 8th grade? The kids always start getting sweaty palms when they start talking about the writing proficiency test. And we always have to remind the kids that everybody that's a freshman passed it last year. And just look around that class, and if that guy can pass the test, then you can pass the test. It's a great opportunity for these kids to really assess what they've learned. And our English department really prepares them quite well for this test. We take them out that whole day. They sit down in the gym, and it takes them some time. They got to put down their thoughts, write down an outline, and articulate some pretty cool topic sentences that they have to formulate. So it's a good opportunity for them to really see how well their writing skills have developed over the year. So we do that in February. I think that's the Thursday before we take off for winter break. So all the 8th graders will be pulled out, put in the gym, and Mrs. Westcott will lead them through that drill in February. There's nothing to do to prep or prepare. We just give you a heads up because the kids tend to get a little amped up right around that time. The last week of school gets a little different for us as 8th graders. The first one is on Monday the 21st. That's a regular day. That'll be our last full day of school with the students. It's a B day. They'll come in 8:30 to 3, regular class, regular schedule. Nothing alters there. Then on Tuesday, it gets a little different. All the students will be here, but on Tuesday, what we'll do for our 8th graders is we have our graduation party. So they're going to come in the morning. They will pass out the yearbooks. They go to a rally. They always dedicate the yearbook to one of the teachers. The students have fun. They get it passed out, and then they just spend the rest of the day signing yearbooks initially here and there. So kind of a laissez-faire kind of day. The kids enjoy that. There's really not a lot of rigorous homework or assessments going on. They just get to fill out their yearbooks with their fellow classmates. Oops. About 2:30, we're going to take the 8th graders directly from Skyway campus here. We're going to load them up on the buses, and we go to Coyote Ranch, which is just right up Monterey Road, about 5-6 miles up the road. We take over the facility for the day. We bring in a DJ. They roll out a barbecue. We get the bounce houses. There's the played fields of soccer and softball, a caricature. There's a photo booth. We just hang out and play. It's like a big picnic party environment for the students. They have a great time. It's always a fun time. And you don't even have to be there. In fact, you're not supposed to be there. We're going to take the kids, take them out there, and we'll bring them back. You'll pick them up here on the campus, and we'll return at 7 o'clock. So that's our graduation party for the class. We do that on Tuesday before we graduate. Next morning, we roll in, and all the students will report to the football stadium. And for the next 3 hours, we teach them how to line up alphabetically. It takes the entire morning. And we work on our rehearsal. We work on where to stand, who comes in at what time. So they must attend. If they don't come to practice, they don't graduate. So I'm just letting you know that. So it's not why I had to get my hair done or my nails done. It's like if you don't know where to go and stand and sit, you're going to screw up the entire thing, and we can't have that. So they need to be at rehearsal. So that will be a normal start time. No problem with the buses or carpools or anything. We're not changing that, but it gets done at 11:45. So now we've practiced, we've stood, we've standed, we know where we're going. They leave at 11:45, and you then can start coming back because our stadium is going to open at 3 o'clock. We do not, if you've ever gone to the high school, anyone gone to a high school graduation? Yeah, we don't come close to that. You will have plenty of seating, not a problem. Parking's another story, but the seating will be plentiful, so you don't need to get there super early. But we'll open the gates about 3 o'clock. The ceremony's going to start right at 4. It's nice now that we've got the paneling up there with the solar panels, so it's not sitting in the hot sun, you're not baking, there's plenty of seating, a lot of shade. So come in as you can. If you have issues with parking, if maybe grandparents or older relatives, somebody coming with you, obviously we could work with the staff to get you spots up here on the hill, but I really recommend for everyone to use Farron. It's just easier to park, take the bus right up the backside of the hill, and then once the ceremony's over, the buses will be right there in front of the stadium. You get on and you leave. That's the best way to roll. But we'll, however you want to do, that's fine. We just ask that the students be up here by 3:30. So if you might even have to come up, drop them off. We're going to meet with all the students on the soccer field at 3:30, get them lined up. That gives you time to go find your seats, and then at 4 o'clock we'll probably start our ceremony. Our goal is to be done by 5. We want to kind of keep it short and simple. You got some celebrating to get to, so we want to respect that time. So that will be, here we go, catch up now. There we go, at 5 o'clock. After that, in the large gym for about an hour, we're going to have a little mixer. We're going to have some punch and some cake, a chance to just kind of get together, take some photos with the other students and other families. I know a lot of you, though, have other plans. You go to dinner, whatever. It's not obligatory to be there. It's just an opportunity to kind of hang out and take some photos with the other family members. And again, parking is, like it always is up here, it's tight. So if you try to show up at 3:30, drop your kid off, you might struggle to find a spot. So forget, drop it off at Farron. You can all ride the bus up here. They'll be here in time. You'll be good to go. But if you need parking, we do have it. If you need handicap parking, it's plentiful, so please don't worry about that. The students, again, are going to be looking good in their robes. Everyone's going to get the robe and the sash. Some of the students will receive other sort of honors based upon their achievements. The honor roll pin is for a 3.5 GPA in all quarters, not the semester grades. We're looking at the quarter grades for 8th grade there. So if unfortunately there's a 3.4 in one quarter, that's going to disqualify them. The cross pin is for all our graduates here at Valley Christian Schools. And if they have participated as an AMSI student and are within the AMSI program, there's a special pin to indicate that they will wear on their sash. So all the students will get the sash with their Valley Christian in their year, and then their robe. Boys in blue and the ladies in white. And then that's it. You're done. 8th graders, you're out. 7th and 6th graders, you still got to come back for a couple more days. There's raging water parties and half days and things like that. But for 8th graders, we will end on that Wednesday. So keep that in mind if you have other students in 6th and 7th grade. They're not all done on the same day. So those are the dates. They're on that card that I gave you, or you can pick them on the way back. And again, to really track these and get all the information, follow that InfoNet. When that shows up with your monthly email, take a look at that. You'll get everything you need to know. At this time, I want to turn it over to our academic counselor, Mr. C.J. Clark, and he'll bring it on home.
Cool. All right. Let's give Steve a round of applause. He did a great job, right? He's funny, huh? I like him. And you know what, you guys have been here listening to us talk. You guys deserve a round of applause, too. Go ahead, give yourselves a round of applause, too. Okay. All right, you guys all pepped up, ready to pay attention again? Okay. So again, these cards, they've got all the dates that Steve was talking about. If you ever have an absence, your child's coming in late, you guys are running late in the morning, the phone number's on the front of it too. So snag the cards. There's a 6th or 8th grade kind of all school one, and then there's one that's just 8th grade events. And we got a lot of events, so I highly recommend the cards. They're on those back tables there. Anyhow, so as an 8th grade student, we are going to go ahead and I'm going to set up a meeting and try and have a meeting second semester with each of your students and ask them about their experience and try and kind of just debrief their junior high experience. And I'm going to go ahead and send that on to the high school counselors, and hopefully that will help kind of seal the year for them and offer some insight to their high school counselor as they are now kind of graduating on to the next step. Also, just so that you know, you guys, most of you probably have at some point had a homework calendar in your phone that was going to tell you when one of your students' assignments was due and stuff like that. In 3rd quarter, we stopped doing that in an effort to kind of help transition the students in to the high school, where the high school doesn't just kind of push the homework assignments through a calendar to their electronic devices. I see some 8th grade faces in the room, and they're saddened by this. It is a very sad thing. It was always right there for you. So if you have any questions about this interview or any of this, please feel free to reach out to myself or Kristen Cunningham, and we'd be happy to support you and help you out. The end of the year will be like, congratulations, this is great. And so as you get your schedules and you go through the different events and you pick your classes, I'll be there as a support for you and your students. There's also going to be events with the high school, and they will be you'll be assigned a high school counselor, and you may be able to connect with them as well. But I'll be there to help and assist each student through this time, and hopefully give them a window into the classes that they may want to take in the high school. I mean, we have an amazing conservatory with music classes like wild, and our course catalog for the high school is really robust and wonderful. So if you're interested in going to the high school here, we have a lot to offer, and I can kind of help be a guide through that process for you. So yeah. So we are a Challenge Success school. Most of you have probably heard this before, but we really care about the life balance of you and your child especially. There's only 24 hours in a day, and so as we're kind of entering into the next step, we're really hoping that your child has been getting around 9 to 10 hours of sleep. We hope that they've had family time where they've had time to connect with you. We also hope that there's been time to do homework and play and free time. And yeah, so there's only 24 hours, and we would love for you to kind of utilize that time well. We hope that most of our students don't have any more than around 2 hours of homework a night, because if you kind of go above that, there's been studies done that actually, it's just kind of negative on your students' well-being, and they can even show signs consistent with depression upon like 3 and 4 hours of homework a night. So that'd be a lot of homework. But yeah, so we care about the whole child. Also, this presentation that we're giving right now is going to be on our new student support blog. Kristen Cunningham went ahead and she started a blog last year which covers a number of topics such as technology and learning disorders. And yeah, she just actually got her master's this last year. So she's got her master's in student services. She's very well equipped to go ahead and help your students. And this blog will be infused with helpful information for parents. So go ahead and check it out, especially if you've heard like 100 dates in 30 minutes. You may want to just go check that out. So yeah, so that's pretty much what we've got right now. So I'm going to go ahead and pray for us,